Hello and good morning, good chilly morning to my beautiful Aries out there. Welcome to your 2023 overall reading. So I will be recording a video for each of the 12 days of Yule, and each day will correspond to one of the zodiac signs. So first up, we do have Aries on this, the 21st day of December, solstice 2022. I will be pulling cards for you and doing 3 separate readings. You can check the timestamps down below. So the first will be a general reading, a general overall view of what's coming up for you in 2023. I will also be doing a love, family, and relationships poll, and I will be doing money, jobs, and career. Okay, each one of these readings will be 6 cards. So this is going to be a longer video. And I will be doing the same for each of the zodiac signs. So please tell your family and friends who may be a sign other than Aries, and let's get started. Okay, so general overall reading for Aries. Keep in mind that I am not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. So any advice that you receive during these readings are general in nature, and it's up to your own free will as to how you take that advice. I also want to comment that this is a general reading for all Aries, and so some of it will resonate with some of you and some of it may not. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in having a personal reading with me, I do offer personal readings as well. So if you would like more clarity on anything that comes up in today's video, by all means, please reach out and book a personal appointment with me. Okay, Aries, let's get started with your general overall 2023. All right, so that first card is in the you now position. All right, your focus card is coming out. Difficult influences, difficult influences. I'm getting called to a different deck for your different difficult influences, Aries. This is again general. Okay. What makes sense at this time? What makes sense at this time? Coming over here. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with my channel, I do work with 4 decks predominantly. I do have many more decks than that, but I do find that working with 4 decks gives people a more accurate reading than just working solely with the tarot or with one specific oracle card deck. Expected insights. Okay. My desk is very small, so Aries, unexpected insights for 23. All right, we've got 3 cards that have decided to jump out here for your unexpected insights for 2023. Aries, let's see if we can narrow this down a little bit. That card definitely. Okay, well, we'll keep these off to the side and use them as clarification if necessary. All right, let's go over here. So 2023 for the Aries, 2023. All right. Is that our card? Okay. All right. So Aries, overall, you right now, we actually have the breakthrough card for you. This is where you are at right now. You are coming to an awakening, coming to a breakthrough right now, just before we go into 2023. you're coming to the realization that things perhaps are not as they seem. You're looking at certain things in your life, and you're starting to question them. Now, again, this is the general portion of your reading. So generally speaking, overall in your life right now, you're going, what's going on? Perhaps things are not as they seem. I am just pulling out my correspondence here. Yeah, so this card corresponds to, no, I looked up the wrong card. I was going to say this card corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune card, but it doesn't. That doesn't feel quite right. No, it belongs to the Strength card. Strength card. So that's where you're at right now, Aries. Corresponding to the Strength card, having a breakthrough, realizing things. You're coming into your own. You're coming into your own power right now, which is really, really empowering. Okay, let's go into your focus. Okay, your focus for 2023 as a general overall feeling is the Fool card, which means that for 2023, your overall focus is to have fun, bring some folly and some childlike wonder into your 2023, Aries. Oh, I love this. Yeah. So bring in a little bit of good humor, a little bit of folly. You'll notice that on this card, and with just about any tarot deck, the Fool card, which is the 0 in the traditional tarot, is almost always represented by a court jester. Why? Because the court jester was the one person in the king's court that could actually get away with teasing the king, get away with doing things that other people couldn't get away with. So for 2023 and your overall, I would say that this is telling me that bring some fun and some folly into your life, and maybe even try to get away with a couple of things that you wouldn't normally be able to get away with. Now, I'm not recommending by any means that you go out and do something illegal or immoral by any means, but definitely get out there and have some fun in 2023. Don't take life as seriously as you may normally take it. Okay. Moving into your difficult influences. Okay. We have the butterfly and regeneration. Okay. So normally when the butterfly comes up and the regeneration card comes up, it would normally come up in a very positive light. But the fact that this card came up in your difficult influences position in this particular spread, for 2023, Aries, I want to say that you will have a few struggles with coming out of your cocoon, coming out of your shell, allowing your true colors to shine through. Okay. The butterfly, like I said, normally represents, coming out of your cocoon and spreading your wings and showing your beautiful new colors to the world and flitting and flying about and just being free in the beauty that you have emerged from your cocoon with. But being in the difficult influences position, that it means that you may struggle, you may bump up against this a little bit. You may be, what's coming up for me is you may be a little bit more sensitive to people's criticisms of you, as you try to exhibit more of your Fool energy this year as your focus. You may bump into people's criticisms of your regeneration. So just watch for that. That's not to say that you shouldn't be doing this. It's just saying that people may be critical of what you are trying to express and put out into the world this year. And you shouldn't allow that to influence or shadow anything that's going on for you. Okay, so from here, we're going to go over to the This Makes Sense card. What makes sense this year for you? Infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. All right, Aries, what a positive card for your overall general energies for 2023. This makes sense. This makes sense because as you are bringing more folly and more joy and more playfulness into your life, it makes sense that you will also bring more abundance into your life. Okay. Now, abundance in this case is not just about money. I mean, I'm sure that we would all like to have this card come up in a few minutes when I get to your money, job, and work portion of this reading. But this is a fantastic card to come up for your overall energies in the This Makes Sense section of the spread. This, like I said, is not just about financial abundance. This is about family. This is about friends. This is about gratitude for the food that we have, the heat that we have in our homes if we live in a colder climate, the air conditioning we have if we live in a warmer climate, food, clean water, the ability to bathe every day or two. These are all things that make up abundance. And this is telling me that you are going to have that in your life and you are going to manifest more of that into your life, Aries, in 2023. So unexpected insights for 2023 for Aries is the Medicine Mother, honoring your inner knowing. Okay, this card makes perfect sense with where you are now, which is your breakthrough card or your strength card. As you're having a breakthrough and as you're having an awakening, as you're realizing that things are not always as they seem on the surface, when you stop just listening to the lip service that people are giving you and you start seeing things below the surface, what's going on a really deep level, then you are honoring your inner knowing. And this is part of your unexpected insights. This to me is telling me, Aries, that your intuition is going to develop exponentially in 2023. As you continue through this breakthrough cycle, your intuition is really, really going to wake up for you in 2023, Aries. Okay. And the general overall outcome for you, Aries, for 2023 is the Trust card. Okay. This card is telling me that as you bring more fun and folly into your life with the Fool card, as you actually bump up against these criticisms and yet not allow it to bother you because you are the beautiful butterfly. As you experience the breakthrough and you develop your intuition further, and as you experience more abundance in your life, you're actually going to learn to trust again. Okay. Now, that's not to say that, you're going to be watching the 6 o'clock news and you're going to go, yep, that's definitely the truth. That's not what I'm saying at all. It means that you're going to trust yourself and you're going to trust your intuition and you're going to trust that still small voice that's inside of you, Aries. And that is your overall general predictions for the dominant energies for you for 2023, Aries. So let me just tuck these cards back into the respective decks, give them a little clearing, and we're going to move on to love and relationships. All right, this one comes over here. And let's clear that one. I mean, I could pause the video while I'm doing all of this, but as I've mentioned to many of you, I'm real. I don't edit, and what you see is what you get. All right. And final deck of cards here. Let's just make sure that these are well mixed. Okay. So for Aries, Aries, let's move into your love and relationships. And again, this is a general reading for all Aries. It's an overview of 2023 for all of you. Okay, let's pull a card for you now, Aries. Okay, that's more than one card, deck. That's not nice. You can't do that. I want one card. We're going to just tuck these back in. Okay. Let's try this again. You now, with regards to love and relationships, Aries. This is definitely the deck I was called towards. And no, it's not that one. Okay. Where is it? Which card is it? There it is. Okay. For those of you that don't know my channel and haven't been here before, I have a ridge in one of my fingers. So as I am dealing the deck and shuffling the deck, I often get poked in the finger in that little ridge. And that is generally an indication that that is the correct card. Your focus with regards to love and relationships for 2023 for Aries, your focus. All right. Yep, and there we go again. I'm getting poked in that finger. So there we go, your focus. Okay. Difficult influences with regards to love and relationships for Aries. Difficult influences in 2023 for Aries, love and relationships. Okay, we do have two cards that have come out. What makes sense? What makes sense? Aries. Okay. Yep, that card was meant to come out as well. That one. Unexpected insights. Where are we going? Unexpected insights. Back over to the same deck. Popular deck today for you, Aries. All right, unexpected insights, love and relationships. So I am dealing a smaller or shuffling a smaller portion of the deck right now because there was about 7 or 8 cards that came out altogether. Okay, love and relationships, unexpected insights for Aries 2023. Yeah. Outcome. Okay, let's get started. All right, the first card, where are you at now with regards to love and relationships? Okay, right now with regards to love and relationships, Aries, the card that came up for you is the Watching the Clouds card, lie back, rest, and relax. This to me is telling me that where you're at right now, if you are single, is that you're not really out there looking. You're not really out there pounding the pavement. You're not frantically searching the internet and putting up internet dating sites, putting up a profile on internet dating sites. You're just watching the clouds go by and you're quite content with where you are right now. There isn't a sense of desperation. If you are currently in a relationship, again, with the Watching Clouds card coming up, Aries, you're at that point where there's a sense of satisfaction. There is perhaps for both single and Aries who are in relationships, there is perhaps right now a dreamy sense, a sense of imagination. Ooh, what if? You know, that's kind of what watching clouds is about. We like to pay attention to the clouds and we like to think, what if? You know? But there's not really a sense of desperation. There's not a sense of having to do anything. It's just a satisfaction. When we do have the time and the opportunity to watch clouds, it's a sense that we're relaxed. So that's what I'm picking up for you in the here and now, Aries. And let's move into your focus for 2023. Okay, your focus for 2023 with regards to love and relationships is the snake, shedding old skin. This to me is telling me, regardless of whether you are currently in a relationship or whether you are single, you have a desire to let go of some old habits, to let go of that which is not working for you. You know, sometimes we come to the realization that what's been working for us isn't going to continue to work for us. That doesn't necessarily mean get up first thing in January and dump your boyfriend if you're in a relationship. You know, that's not what this is saying, but it is saying that there is a sense right now that things need to change. So for single Aries going into 2023, there is this focus that changes need to be made in order to have that magical, wonderful relationship that you are working towards manifesting. And for the Aries who are currently in relationships, this card indicates that your focus for 2023 is actually going to be about change, but not so much change, like drastic change, but just changing the way things go. Sometimes when this card comes up in relation to relationships and love, it's an indication that things might be a little bit stagnant. So for the Aries who are in relationships in 2023, this is telling me that in order to avoid that stagnation, you need to shed the old. You need to shed oh, well, every Friday we do this, okay? For the single Aries, for 2023, this card generally refers to you personally, about you making some changes within yourself, whether that be your level of confidence in a relationship, whether that be your level of trust, whatever the case may be. But for the Aries who are in relationships, this card is telling me that some change needs to happen, that there may be some stagnation, and that it requires both parties to take part in it. Okay. Let's move on to difficult influences. Now, we do have two cards that came up in the difficult influences for you, Aries, for love and relationships in 2023. These are the two cards that came up. We have the Earth card, which represents home, and we have the Bee card, which represents community. So let's start with the Aries who are in relationships right now. This coming up in your difficult influences is telling me that, you know, there may be some difficulties expressing themselves in your home life, whether that be that you already live with your partner, or perhaps you're planning on moving in together and there's going to be some growing pains, but definitely some issues here. The community card coming up in your difficult influences card or position in the reading is telling me that you've heard the saying, too many cooks ruin the broth. Okay, one cook comes in, tastes the soup and throws some salt in. The next cook comes in and goes, oh, gee, I don't think anyone put any salt in. And they throw some salt in. And then the next cook comes in and throws a little bit more salt in. And ultimately you end up with soup that's inedible because too many people were involved. What these cards are telling me here, Aries, for those of you in a relationship already for 2023, is that there's perhaps too many people influencing what's going on in your relationship. And there needs to be a concentration on you and your partner, and not you going out being the busy bee and constantly consulting your friends. Your friends are not in your home at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. You can tell your friends about your perspective about what happened on Friday night in your home at 7 p.m. But your friends were not there and they didn't experience the emotions that were involved. So if you're out there being the busy bee looking for relationship advice, you're probably not getting the best advice. Okay? This is telling me that if you want relationship advice, it needs to come from within you, and it needs to be a joint effort between you and your partner, Aries. Okay? I know that's a difficult message to hear, especially for the women in the group, because women like to talk with their friends about their relationships, and they like to get advice from their friends. But this being in the difficult influences part of your reading is telling me that you can't be listening to the buzzy little bees if you want to make your relationship work. You need to listen to yourself. You need to go home and work things out with your partner. Okay. For those of you who are single and looking this year, what these two cards are telling me in your difficult influences is that, again, community can get in the way of your relationship. It can get in the way if there's too many little buzzy bees around whispering in your ears and telling you this and telling you that. Then you're not going to go home and you're not going to listen. You're not going to be at the heart and soul. The earth is our heart and soul. We don't have another planet we can go to. You're not going to be at home in yourself if you're out listening to this with regards to your relationships. Okay. So Aries, my advice, whether you are in a relationship or whether you are single this year, is to really, really get in touch with who you are and what you want in a relationship, what you want out of a relationship. Because if you're listening to those honeybees buzzing around, your friends, the gossip, the maybe not so great advice, it's not going to serve your highest good. Okay. Moving on to this makes sense for your relationships this year. Okay. All right. I have two cards here. One of the cards is specifically for, no, they're both for both singles and in relationships. Okay. You have the joy and delight card, and you also have the fogged in card. Okay. Let both of those kind of settle in, sink in, Aries. Okay. What this is telling me is that regardless of whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship, you can have joy and delight in your relationships. You can open your heart to that. But in order to have this, you do need to take some time and go slow. And again, this was in your difficult position. Okay. If you're constantly listening to the chatter of other people giving you advice instead of going within and learning for yourself what you want, then you're going to feel fogged in. This makes perfect sense. Okay. So, Aries, for those of you, whether you're in a relationship or not, you need to act of your own accord, not be listening to chatter of others. Open your heart to the joy that love in a relationship can bring. For those of you who are single, go slow. Take your time. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I do sense that there are probably going to be moments in 2023 when you feel like you're fogged in, when none of it's making sense. But in the next moment, you can have that joy and delight as well, especially if you're in touch with your own emotions, wants, desires, if you're really clear on what you want from your relationship. Okay. Unexpected insights. Okay. Unexpected insights for love, for Aries. Grounding, go deep and explore your roots. That's exactly what I've been saying. You need to ground yourself. You need to go deep. You need to be listening to yourself. If you're not at home in your own body, if you're not at home in your own wants and desires, if you're listening to the chatterboxes around you and the gossips around you, then you're not going to be grounded. Your relationships will not be grounded. Okay. And like I said, this is saying go deep, explore your roots. This card is about getting clarity about what you want. And there's a second card that came out here, traveling lightly, simplify your life. Okay. If you're carrying around a bunch of baggage and a bunch of gossips from other people, well, not finding out the truth for yourself. Now, that's not to say that your gossipy friends that are whispering in your ears about something that someone else is doing are not telling you the truth, but you need to find that out for yourself. That's really, really the message here, is that you need to know that for yourself, and you need to have clarity on what you want for your relationships. That harkens back to your focus for this year, right? Shedding the old. And the traveling lightly card is about shedding the old, simplifying your life, getting rid of the old baggage that no longer serves you. So these two cards tie in very nicely to your reading here, Aries. Okay, your outcome for both Aries in relationships and Aries who are currently seeking is the Sun and Faith. Okay. This card is telling me that for the Aries out there in 2023, if you have faith that you're in the correct relationship, or that the correct relationship is coming down the pipes for you, if you're single, if you have that faith, then you can make it work, and you will make it work. Have that faith. We know that the sun rises every morning. We know that the sun sets every evening. We have faith in that, as did our ancestors. And so we have faith that our relationships are positive and in our highest interest, in our highest good, then we're going to be in a good place. So that overall, your love and relationships aspect of your 2023 is really, really positive, Aries. Okay. All right. Let's put these cards back and we will move into money, job, and work for Aries for 2023. We had a lot of cards out of this particular deck, and we had none out of that one. Okay. Let's get these put away. Like I said, I could pause the video while I'm doing all of this, but why? You guys know I'm doing it behind the scenes anyway, so I could just do it in front of you. Okay, Aries, money, job, work, 2023. I'm being asked to pull the cards out of order. Sorry, I have a scratch on my nose. Okay. Let's see how this works, because I'm being told to pull the cards out of order. Outcome. I got told to pull the outcome card first. Don't know why. Let's pull those two as clarification cards. That's going to be the first card. That's the outcome. I don't know why. You now, Aries, with regards to money, job, and work. You now. Where are we going? I'm getting pulled in two different directions here. Okay. Aries, I think that there's a little bit of confusion here for you. A little bit of uncertainty. You now, Aries, money, job, and work. Okay. I don't know if you can see there, there's a card that's turned sideways while I'm shuffling. So that's going to be your you now. Your focus in 2023. Your focus in 2023 for money, job, work, career, Aries. Okay, and that one? I think so. Okay. Difficult influences. Difficult influences. Where are we going? Okay. Difficult influences for money, job, work, career for Aries 2023. Okay. I don't know if you can see, but there's that finger getting poked. Let's see. Is it this one? Yep. That's the card. Difficult influences. Let's go into this makes sense. Okay. That one jumped out. All right. Unexpected insight. Unexpected insights for 2023 for Aries. Getting pulled over here again. Unexpected insights. And we've got two cards that actually jumped out. Okay. You now, Aries, for money, job, work, career. Rejuvenating rain, clear the past in order to heal the present. That makes perfect sense. Gee, I wonder what's going to come up in the that makes perfect sense portion of the reading. But this makes perfect sense. So you now, rejuvenating rain, clear the past to heal the present. With regards to your current work, money, job, career, Aries, if you are looking for change, and I sense that I'm going to say about 2/3 of the Aries who are going to watch this are looking for change. They are itchy and looking to, there's kind of a stuck feeling for about 2/3 of you. The other third are looking for change as well, but not to the same degree. So some of you, I would say maybe 2/3 of the Aries that are watching this are looking for a more drastic change. But about 1/3 of you are looking for a change, maybe not a whole career, maybe not changing companies, but just a change in the dynamic of what's going on. But this card is telling you that this is where you're at right now. And in order for you to move forward into 2023, there are some changes that need to be made, including clearing the past. Now, on this particular card, what's coming up for me is it's not just about cleaning up your desk. I think that for some of you, there's some negative energies. Maybe things were said, maybe things were done that rubbed you the wrong way. And so perhaps opening up some conversations with people about your career and the direction you want to take for your career would be well advised. So your focus for money, job, and career this year for 2023 is the nourishment card. Okay. This to me is telling me that in order for you to be successful in your job or career this year, in order for you to move forward, to have that money that you want, you do need to be nourishing it. The same way that if we want health in our lives, if we want a healthy body, we need to nourish our bodies properly. And so this is telling me, Aries, that in 2023, you need to, the word that's coming up, you need to massage your career. I know that sounds really weird, but you need to feed your career. This means that in 2023, things are not necessarily going to be handed to you on a silver platter, the same way that good health is not necessarily handed to us on a silver platter. We need to make good choices for ourselves, for our physical bodies, including exercising, feeding ourselves healthy, nutritious foods, drinking clean water. Nourish your job this year. That means being attentive to your job, paying attention to the small details, not allowing things to just slough things off and expecting somebody else to do it, and then expecting to get the accolades for it, right? That's what this card is telling me, is that your focus needs to be on feeding your career, feeding the job. Because if you want the money to be fed into your bank account, you have to do the work. That's what this card is telling me this year for you, Aries. I get the sense that for some of you, money, job, and career has kind of come a little bit easy for some of you. Like, not always easy, but there's been an aspect to it that you haven't had to put in the same kind of effort that perhaps other people have had to put in order to get to the same rung on the corporate ladder, so to speak. And this is telling me that if you want to continue to climb that ladder, if you want to continue to, whether you are a YouTube influencer, whether you are a corporate guru who's climbing the corporate ladder, whatever your job is, this is telling me that you need to put in the work this year. Okay. Difficult influences this year. Trust your talents in changing times. This card, Aries, is telling me in the difficult influences part that, again, the same way that you need to feed your career, right? Perhaps things seemed really easy for you and you were able to get to a certain level, but in order for you to continue to do that, you need to put in extra work. You need to feed your career. And this is telling me that things are changing. Times are changing. 2023 is not going to be the same as 2022, 2021, 2018. It's not the same. And so in the difficult influences, because times are changing, if you continue to do the same thing over and over, it's not going to work out for you, Aries. You need that new lifeblood. Okay, let's move into this makes sense. Right. This makes sense. The guidance card comes up in your this makes sense. Okay. If you're not feeding your career, if you're not staying on top of things, if you're not staying fresh, you're not relevant anymore. You're not going to continue to climb. The reason being is that times are changing. Things are not going to be the same as they were before. And the only way that you can continue to climb is to take guidance. Now, this may mean taking guidance from unexpected sources, whether that be angels. But what actually came up for me intuitively and psychically is that I think for some of you, Aries, the age gap is going to become an issue for you. So for those of you who are younger, who are perhaps influencers and so on and so forth, you had your own way of doing things that worked in the social media, modern age, online time. And I'm getting the sense that you may need to be taking a little bit of advice from some of your elders about doing things differently, because times are changing right now. But I'm also sensing that for those of you who may be a little bit older and have been struggling the last couple of years with moving to a career that's perhaps online that you weren't necessarily totally comfortable with, you may need to be taking some advice from the younger generation. And if we can all work together on this, on the guidance, Aries, then everyone has the opportunity to be able to move forward. And that's kind of what it's all about. But it means that we may need to take some advice and some guidance from unexpected sources. Okay, unexpected insights. Ooh, okay. Two cards came up in the unexpected insights. The one card that came up is the outsider card. This plays right into exactly what I've been saying. If you are not feeding your career, if you are not changing with the changing times, if you are not taking guidance from sources that perhaps you used to look at and go, I'm not taking advice from him. If you had that kind of attitude, okay, you're going to end up as an outsider in 2023. There's no two ways about it. If, on the other hand, you are taking this advice, apparently I can't speak English after an hour of being online. If you are taking all of this advice, this is the alternative outcome. This is the new vision card. This is an awakening card. This is a card of advancement. And so you'll notice on this card that there is a character down on his hands and knees, but from this character emerges this new character into the light and into the universe. Okay. And there's geometric patterns and shapes here as well, which also have spiritual significance, but I'm not going to go into all of that now. Just suffice it to say that if you're not doing everything that came up earlier in this reading, you're going to end up as the outsider. And if you are doing it, then you do have the opportunity for a lot of growth in the job, work, career, and money part of 2023. Now, I was called to pull the outcome cards before I had pulled any of the other cards, which is highly unusual in this particular spread. But the outcome is courage. It's the courage card. Okay. What this is telling me, Aries, is that in 2023, because times are changing, there is a huge shift in the way that we do work and career. It's going to take courage for you to be successful. That's not to say that it is not possible, but it is to say that, you know, if you look at this card, you know, a seed has come up out of the rocks. You know, a seed has gone between these little rocks and it's come up and it has managed to succeed and become the beautiful flower. Aries, this is telling me that you do have a little bit of a challenge ahead of you. Now, you also have the trust and the patience cards in your outcome for work and career. It means you need to trust in the process and have some patience. But when you do, you can seriously have a lot of success in 2023. All right. Thank you so much, Aries, for joining me and allowing me to present the overall energies for you for 2023. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.